Hello, hello. Hello, hello. How is everyone today? How are we today? Oh no, my model. Okay, we're better now. Hello, hello. I feel like the music is still too loud. Hold on. There we go. Yes, you should apologize. How dare you defile our sacred original Coca-Cola like this? The vanilla Coca-Cola having ass. Goddamn. No. That's not what we believe in here. It's not what we believe in. I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm gonna do my intro before I forget because I always forget. So, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Biddy God? Well, look no further, for it is I, KaboChama. But you can just call me Daddy. So, my name is KaboChama. I go by they, them pronouns. So you best believe I'ma whoop your ass if you don't respect it. Anyway, I haven't even had a sip of my Coca-Cola yet, and I'm already crazy. Did you hear that? You hear that? That's some good shit. That's some good shit. So excited for KaboClass? Good. So ready? Nice. You have to fast for blood work? That's the worst. Hi, Daddy.
That's right. I'm your daddy.
I'm still sad my bottle didn't get my face for that one. Anyway, here's my sip of Coke. Nice. I remember to charge my pen this time. So we shouldn't have any issues. Let me just throw the cord over here. I'm just like caressing the microphone with the cord right now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Guys, streaming is so nice. Okay, let me put myself in the corner. Am I too far? I can't see. My OBS is... Oh, that's pretty good. I could be a little bigger. Let me make myself a little bigger. That's good, right? Alright, so, just a little explanation for you guys, if anyone's new here. So, this is KaboClass. This is where you guys suggest things that you want to learn about drawing, and then I make a class dedicated to that thing, and I explain it to you as best as I can from my knowledge. I'm not a teacher. I really like teaching, but I'm not a teacher. So, yeah, if it's terrible for you, maybe go find another person to teach you. It would be so cool to have one little soda can bottle show up while you're sipping. That would be really fun. There's some stuff that I wanted to do in VTube Studio. There's like a Coca-Cola can I was going to put on my forehead on some point, but I don't want to do it right now. Maybe for like a crack stream I'll do it. But maybe not today. Maybe not this time. Since we're trying to be professional, right? Yeah. So, anyway. So today we're doing clothing folds. That was the, I put a poll on Twitter and you guys voted for clothing folds, so that's what we're going to do today. This is clothing folds 101, so it's very basic. Just like, basic hair 101 we did last time, this time it's basic clothing folds. So we're not going to get into the nitty gritty, we're just going to kind of gloss over the mechanics of how it works and like how you do it in kind of like an anime style. And yeah, so if you're on a digital device, I made a little template thingy right here. That's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to drop the link in chat just in case anyone wants it. Let me get it. I totally am not prepared for this. Ready to learn? Good. Okay, so that is the link right there. You can see it behind my head. Yeah, my big old head. So, if you want to grab that, there's a Photoshop document file, so it should open on any you know, it has like the layers and stuff there. It's kind of like shitty this time. I didn't have very much time to prepare, but yeah, there's a Photoshop document if you want the layers, and I also did a JPEG if you're just like working on whatever, or if you just like want to print it out. I know someone printed it out last time. I thought that was a really genius way of doing it. But yeah, so we're gonna do clothing folds. So if you open up the document, it's gonna look like this. Don't worry about this line art layer. It's my sketch to try and get everything correct. You can delete it. I'm just gonna delete it. And then this is a folder. This has the actual line art in it. I was gonna do more with it, but I didn't. Yeah. So you just do a layer on top. Doesn't really matter. And last time I said that my red was a little too ridiculous, so we're gonna go in with a darker red this time, so that your eyes don't burn when I start drawing. So clothing folds they look really, really complicated, and when you first try to do them, they're super complicated. But once you learn the mechanics, it gets really, really easy. Basically, the mechanics are just, you know, gravity. Gravity are the mechanics. So, for every single thing, we're going to assume that gravity is working this way, right? From up and going down. So, gravity is working this way, gravity is working that way, this way, this way, this way, this way, right? So, always goes down. It's just how gravity works. If you don't know that, maybe take a physics class or just go back to elementary school. Who knows? Maybe you're a little, you know, maybe you need to go back to school. This is KaboClass though, so I guess it's okay if you're a little stupid. That's okay. Anyway, we're gonna work on this one right here first. So what I was gonna do is just kind of like, I was gonna do basically the same shirt every time, so that you can see how, like, in different perspectives or different things, you know, how the clothing folds fit around. And then if we have time, or if there's another clothing folds like poll, we'll do like clothing folds 102, and we'll do like different types of fabric and different types of like stuff happening. But for now, I think we're just gonna do like a really tight shirt. And if you need to do like a big billowy kind of shirt, then you just like increase the size of whatever you're doing, and it should work out. So like, you know, this is, you know, let's say it's like this kind of shirt, you know, one of these. So if you wanted to do something bigger, you would just add weight or add space up here, and then when we come down here, since gravity is pulling it down, you would add space here. Does that make sense? To have like that, you know, that kind of sleeve going on. See how I added space right here because the gravity is pulling it down that way? That's what you want to do. But we're gonna do like, a, well, maybe I can do multiple different types of shirts. No, I'm gonna do like kind of a billowy but not very billowy shirt. You know, like one of these kinds of shirts with like the, you know, and it has a little boop boop. You don't have to draw this. I'm just telling you what kind of shirt it is. So, how do you know the creases like in the inner elbow? That's exactly what we're working on. That's gonna be what the 101 is about, is all of these creases in here. So, what you want to do is you want to figure out how the form is working in a 3D space. So, like for this, one of my art teachers back in the day told me that if you just lightly kind of do this all over your form, then it will give the impression that it's more three-dimensional than it really is. So you can really start to see 3 dimension on your 2D plane. So see how I just, like, if you were to draw a straight line from this point to this point, it would be a curve like this. So that's what you want to think about, wrapping your entire figure. Like, it just, like, every single place has one of those lines. And you just want to either draw it or imagine it in your brain. And that will be the basis of what you move forward with. So, now that we have this, I'm gonna take another color, maybe a blue, and we're gonna go on top of that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of trace, or not really trace, but imagine, like, if you were to wear a shirt, where are the places that you are going to bend the most? It's going to be right here in the elbow, right here in the armpit, or right here in the forearm, or like the wrist area. And you're also going to get a lot of folds right here because, you know, you like bend your back and your stomach a lot. So these are the 4 places that you really want to concentrate. Everything else has fabric that's being pulled from it. So like this point right here and this point right here and all of this has being fabric pulled down by gravity, if that makes sense. So the way we kind of like make this into a 2D feel is by following these lines that we've put on our or imagined on our subject, and we just kind of go at it. So, you know, a shirt is on top of a body, so you want to leave a little bit of space, and you want to just like draw a few lines that follow the lines that you imagined or drew. So like this. And then like, okay, this right here. They always concentrate in a point. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's a very self-explanatory thing. You know, it's like very common sense. It's just really hard to like put words to the common sense unless you know exactly what you're doing, you know? So like at this stomach point, you don't want to put a lot because you don't bend your stomach a lot. Like imagine how many times you bend your arm versus how many times you bend your stomach, you know? Like it's not very much. So you don't really want to concentrate very much right here. But right here is a big concentration. Right here is a big concentration. And this is also a big concentration, but it's a little tricky because it has an opening for your hand, right? So it's not gonna, there's nothing really pulling against it. Like this right here has this part pulling against this part, which makes all of these little things happen, and this part has this part and this part pulling against it. But this part only has this part. There's no part over here, so it's not really gonna do very much, if that makes sense at all. It makes sense to me, but so I hope it makes sense to you. So now that you have your concentration of where your folds are, you're just gonna build your fabric on top of the lines that you've already placed. So, and in a 2D style, if that, I keep on saying if that makes sense. Of course it makes sense. So I'm just gonna, okay, I like this one, I like that one, I like that one. I'm just gonna follow all of these. So, and I like this one, and I like that one, so those are gonna be my main ones, and then I'm just gonna kinda add a few. And so once you get to something like this right here, what you can do is you can start to add little bumps in your fabric and have the down part of the bump like this right here, this part that I'm circling right here, be where your lines connect. So you want just like a bunch of bumps to go along with those. And then right here, you know, you want a bump there, maybe a bump here. And then you close it off since it's a sleeve. And since this is having fabric being pulled towards the center, towards your crease, you don't use any bumps because it's being pulled taut right here along this whole line. So you don't need anything there. The creases and bumps are always difficult, yeah. Okay, awesome. I'm so glad it's making sense. That's awesome. So technically there's a part right here that does, because your neck moves a lot, so there's like a few creases here, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just know that, you know, if you were going to continue this shirt up, you would need a few more creases, like right here. But we're not, so we're fine. And so I'm going to do a bump here and a bump here. And then we're going to follow this. And then I'm going to do like a few bumps here, like this. See how I make them small, like the same size as the bumps over here? If you're drawing the same material, you always want to have the same size bumps every time. Every time. You don't want to have like your bumps over here be like really big and then the bumps over here be really small. Because that kind of like, I don't want to be cringy, but it like takes out the immersion, you know? You're not immersed in the piece anymore. It's just kind of like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense if you were to do that. So this should be kind of the final product of what's going on. If you want to be extra fancy, you can do like a seam crease right here. So if you know fabric and you know how like things are made, then you know where the creases and the seams are in your fabric. So there's one for the arm sleeve, and it goes like this. I just kind of draw it lightly. So right here is where it would come around, and if you know, so it would look like that a little bit. Actually, it would probably be a little higher up, but it doesn't matter. We're not really, you know, giving it too much attention. So when I do this, I don't go through the crease line because it gets a little tricky. I can explain that in 102, you know, like clothing fold 102. But just for now, just skip over the crease when you're drawing like a seam line. You don't need it, you don't want it, it doesn't matter. Technically there's also one that goes like this, but doesn't really matter. So this should be generally how that works for you. And like I said, if you were going to do something bigger, then you would go, here, watch. Make that a little bit, whoop, whoop, and then come over here. If you were to make this bigger, all you would do is you would do this. That is, I can't see that at all. Can I see this? Yeah, okay. So you would just give it more weight. Give it super weight over here. And you would do the same thing. So you would follow the same lines like this. Like that. But you would just give it more weight. That makes sense. So now you have this. Stupid tablet didn't update. Oof! No sensitivity. Damn! I'm sorry. Well, this will be uploaded to YouTube later, so if you did miss something and you want to go back to it, you can always go back. But anyway, so I'm gonna just make this invisible, put this all the way back up. So, this is the basic concept, right? We're gonna do that for basically everything. So I'm gonna get my red again, and I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna say, okay, so there's like this part right here, and then this part goes like this. This is a leg, by the way. I don't know I hope you can tell it's a leg. So this is what it would generally look like. So you would have like, you know, like this like this, like that. So what did I do next? Green. I guess green was next. So then we want to figure out, okay, where are my concentrated folds going to be? Where do I bend the most? And it's going to be right here in this lower part of the knee, not on top, because this is, you know, this goes back like that, right? And it doesn't, you know, your knee doesn't go this way. So it's going to be at the bottom right here. So we're going to kind of get the middle, and we're going to go, okay, middle, and then we're going to say that's a line, and that's a line right there, and maybe there's a little one and a little one, right? So then we're going to get our purplish, bluish, periwinkle, whatever color this is, I don't really know. And we're gonna go over them. We know that that's that, and then we're gonna give it like a little bump, a few little bumps, so like that. And then we're gonna draw slightly on top of the leg, just a little bit. And you know, we want this to be against the leg and this to be against the leg. Like right here, right here, right here, and right here to be against the leg, because all of this fabric is being pulled taut right at this part here. This is where all the action is. Periwinkle is so much fun to say, it really is. You know, if you go like, periwinkle, like right when you're about to sneeze, you won't sneeze. True story. It also works if you go, pumpernickel. True story. True facts. You should try it next time. I do it every time. Everyone looks at me like I'm crazy. But it's true. It works. Can confirm. Anyway, so this is how that would work at this angle. If you were to do a seam, it would be like this. You could just go, wah, and then go down like that. You gonna try it next time? Good. You should. Okay, so that's where the knee is. You never want to have your fold go past like 3/4 of the way, like right here. You never want to let it go past there if you're doing it like from the side. Never, ever, 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 ever. Never. Because this part up here is where all the fabric is being pulled from, and you need something that is like stability. You need something that tells the viewer, tells your eye that, oh yes, this fabric is like pulled taut against something. So you always want super intense folds and then like just straight fabric. That's what you want. That's always what you want. Like if you were to put like folds here, it just literally wouldn't make sense. Like that makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. Why would fabric be folding right here if your leg is pulling it taut? You're back? Welcome back! I'm glad you're back. We're moving on to this leg right here. So this leg is in the front. This is a knee, by the way. So we're going to do the same thing as we've been doing. We're going to go around the knee. It kind of like is like that. When we do basic anatomy, this will make a little bit more sense. But if you're struggling on basic anatomy, just like do what I do, and I'll explain it later. I don't have time to explain it right now. So pant folds would typically be in the back behind the knee. Yeah, so like where you would bend your legs are always going to be in your knees, your like thighs, your hips area, and your ankles. The rest of it has a bone that doesn't move, you know? You can't bend your bone. You can only bend your joint. So you always want to look at where are your joints. I guess a joint would be the term that I should use. But yeah, you always want to do behind the knee is very important. That's where most of the action goes. Like when you walk, you don't really like bend your ankles or your hips very much. It's always your knees that bend. So it's always going to be your knee that has all of the clothing folds that are around it. So this is the front of the leg right here. This is the knee right there. And then, so your thigh is like up here, and your calf is down here, and then your ankle's right there. So for this one, I did this because it's a little bit more complicated. So the folds are going to be directly in the back right here, but they're going to come out. You're going to see a little bit coming out from the sides over here, but not very much. So you got to be careful about how much fold you're going to put in this. So this is going to take a little bit of mental space, a little bit of mental gymnastics, if you will. So you got to imagine your green being all the way behind the leg, but then coming up like ever so slightly right here and here. And then also like this. These are where your folds are going to be. Right here. So there really isn't a line that we're going to draw. We're only going to be drawing like the bumps in the fabric. That's really going to make it look. Brain does a backflip. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be just kind of like putting our points down. We're going to be doing little fabric bumps. So a little fabric bump here. Little fabric bump there, and there, and there, and there, and there. And right here, get some fabric bumps. Then we're gonna follow the leg. And that should really be how it works. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can like put a little bit coming out, just a bit, like this. You'll also know that right here is a little bit, you'll have a little bit more leeway because your thigh is a little bit, usually your thigh is a little bit thicker than your calf. So especially in your knee bend right here. So these are going to be a little longer than the ones up here. Because this has more room to have folds while this is being like pulled like super taut on either side. Does that make sense? And then right here is also going to have some folds. Sometimes when I do folds, I do like, if I'm really lazy, I'll do like, okay, here's a line, great. Okay, there's another line, okay, I'm just going to not pick up my pen at all, and I'll just like do that. Have it like that. That's me being lazy. Some people do that. Like I said, art is all about learning the rules so that you can break them. So if you ever get very confident in clothing folds, you can just go like, and like be done with it. But only when you're confident, only when you feel like you know what you're doing, you know? Yeah. So that's this part. We're gonna go down to something a little bit more complicated, and that's the back of the human figure. So I'm gonna get my red out again, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So like I said, if you're a little iffy on anatomy, just do what I do, you'll be fine. Just copy what I'm doing. Actually, I hate that now. This is kind of weird. It's like straight right here. Go straight, and then you start to do this. And then this is like this. This is also, if you look at like muscles, this is the same thing that muscles do. It helps to quote unquote get like a wire structure around the body so that doing things on top of the body makes more sense. And like I said, when I do this, it's all in my head. I've done this so much that I can skip this step. It just like automatically shows up in my brain, and I know what I'm doing. So it's so you won't really see me do this very often unless I really don't know what I'm doing, and then I have to like be like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's do it from the beginning properly, and then I'll sit there and I'll figure it out like this. But usually I'm pretty good. But like, see how like this looks so much more 3D than that does? It really makes a difference. It really does, you know? Okay, so I'm going to point out all of the spots where folds will usually be. So, like I said, the armpits are a big one. I didn't draw the elbows in this one because we already did elbows like previously. So we're going to do right here is a big one. Right here is a big one. Right here is a big one. And then also right here, but this is kind of a tricky area. I'll show you what I mean. But these are the areas that we're gonna focus on. So what I'm gonna do is, the neck is so weird. We're not really gonna focus on the neck. We're just gonna do like, okay, we'll just do like maybe like 2. I don't know. This is a little easier. So we go like, wee, like that. We're gonna do it on the other side, like this. This right here is pretty weird. I usually like to put like a central line that goes through it, and then like have things come up from that and down from that, like that. And then right here is a little weird. So these are shoulder blades, by the way. These shoulder blades are going to be sticking out of your back, or this person's back, I guess. So it's going to be really taut on the shoulder blades, but in the center, there's not going to be anything for the fabric to lay on. So it's kind of just like flat, but because nothing is truly flat in this world, the fabric is gonna warp. So it's gonna do these like weird like little like ridge thingies that happen, but they're not like I don't know how to say this. I don't know what I'm trying to say. A sensual line? I don't know if I said sensual, but if you're bringing it that way, I mean, I'm not complaining. No, not a sensual. A central, maybe? Like center? That's probably what I was saying. But yes, sexy lines. That's also a good one. Speaking of sexy lines, I'm gonna take a sip of my Coca-Cola. Good shit. Okay. So, now that we kind of have this mapped out, we're gonna go crazy. Not really crazy, but, you know. All these lines are sexy, so it works. Agreed. Very sexy lines. You would never think that a line would be sexy, but, you know, here we are. Here we are. Okay, so let's do the easy ones that we've done so far. So let's start off with this. So we want to do like some of these. And since the armpit is closed, like there's no space for us to do like little bumps and stuff, except for right here. So I just like do a little line, a little bump like that, and then go down. So like this. And we're going to do it on this side too. So So, now that we're here, would there be a crease on the other side? Yeah, there is. Yeah. What other side are you talking about? Like the other side of the human body? Yeah, there would be. It's a little different. Kind of. I'm gonna get to that, but we're gonna do like the exaggerated part. I don't know if you can tell, but boobies. We're gonna do that next. The front of the body. Same like the outer. Yeah. Just like, yeah, we're doing this just like we did the first one right here, except because the arm, instead of being like this, it's more like this. We're not gonna, you can't really like do very much folding or like little fabric bumps as much since it's like in this area, if that makes sense. So, go down again. Okay. So, we're done with these. Let's do the neck. It's going to be really easy. We're not really going to focus on the neck because the neck is complicated because there's like different kinds of collars, you know? Like every kind of shirt or dress has a different kind of collar, and that kind of depends on where your creases are going to be and like how they're going to fall. But that's for more complicated stuff. So we're not really going to focus on it. We're just going to do this. Yay! We're just going to be like, yay, it's good. Okay, great. So this one is a little bit crazy. Not really crazy, not like this crazy, but it's a little intense. So remember how I said, you know, gravity goes down, it's pulling down. So this part of your fabric is going to also bend, since this is such a big line. Like these are very small compared to this bigger line. It's gonna have, like, these don't really work with gravity very much. Like it does, but you can, you know, bend your arm at whatever angle you want, and it's basically gonna be the same creases every single time. But if you like did a handstand, this fold right here would be completely different because gravity affects it so much. Since it's so big, there's such a large amount of surface area that gravity is just like, fuck you, and it just pulls it all the way down. Not really, but yeah, kind of. So even though we have this center line, gravity is going to say fuck you and bring the center of that line down. It depends on what kind of fabric you have, but usually it goes like this. So this center line just became this right here. And then these kind of follow suit. So this line is like now like a little bit like that. These stay the same now. But these are all being held by gravity's force, which is going super down. So we're just gonna kind of make our little bumps. I did those bumps a little too big, but that's okay. So like this. Like that. So that's what goes on there. You can like do like a few more like this. Like make as many bumps as what looks good to your eye, but always make sure that it follows the red like armature that you've made around your figure. So whatever you think looks good, do it, but make sure it follows this red part right here. That's the most important part. So now we're gonna go over to this part right here. This part is gonna be a little tricky, so I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So the way this works, we're gonna do some more mental gymnastics, right? So these 2 points right here, these lines, are the top points of the shoulder blades. They're what is the furthest away from the center of the human being. So it's what the fabric is caught on and what is being pulled taut against. So what you want to do is you want to have, and it's like the fabric warps between them because it's being pulled so taut, and it's, you know, you can't have anything be straight. So what I like to do is I like to do this, and then once I get to the actual like top part, I like to run against it and then go out again like this, and then not connect it, and then have something else come in like this, and then maybe do like a this all the way. And as we go up, it gets smaller. So like this is like the big part right here between these two. You always want to keep a solid part right here from these 2 points. You want to have this be like the top layer that's like bulging out, and then this be the part that you like shade in like that, you know. Like if you're gonna shade this, this would be like where you would shade it, you know. You would shade it like that, or like this, you know, like that. So you want this to be your top part, the part that you would highlight, and this to be a highlight right there, and these to be shadows right here. So you want to keep going with your shadows and make them smaller and smaller until you just, you know, yeah. But this part right here is going to be the top part, the part that's like, that sticks out. So we're just gonna kind of, I'm gonna, ta-da, now it looks like a shirt. Wow, isn't that so cool? I don't know if it looks like a shirt to you, but it looks like a shirt to me. So that's what would happen. It gets a little bit more complicated than this. To really make it look true, you gotta do a lot with highlighting and shadow and low lighting to be able to make this specific part pop and like look normal and natural. So yeah, we'll go over that when we do like shadows and highlights and stuff like that. But for now, we're just gonna do this. Technically, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to, unless you want to really like show that this person has like really massive shoulder blades, you know? Yeah, so yeah, we're definitely going to do a coloring tutorial. The coloring tutorial is going to be different from the shading tutorial. They're going to be separate. So there's like flat color is going to be one, and like flat color and color theory is going to be one, and then advanced color theory and shading, highlighting, shadows, low lighting, all of that is going to be another one. So there's like 2 versions of it that I can go into detail with. And now we're getting to the most important part, the boobies. So, Twitch, these are not real boobies. I'm drawing a shirt. Don't ban me. Anyway, so we're gonna do our armature again, right? So we're gonna go, I like to go in a central line, so it's like this. You go from the new blaze, and you just kind of do this, and then like this. Ta-da! Wow! And then, you know, this is a little more complicated, but we're gonna just pretend like it's super simple. And we're just gonna do it like this. Booby. Yeah. So, this is very important for a certain demographic of people, or just like in general. But like, yeah, I know who you are. Don't worry. So, for booba, there are a lot of places where it's like complicated but also not complicated at the same time. Is it cool if I'm doing slightly different clothes since I'm not exactly a beginner? Yeah. You can do whatever you want. You know, like this class is just kind of like I'm showing you what I know. And so whatever you can learn from it, take it, use it however you want. You don't need to do exactly what I'm doing. Just if you take away something from it, then I consider my job to have been successful. Because I just really want to like share my knowledge with you guys. So no worries if you want to do something different. It really doesn't matter to me. You're not gonna be graded on it, I promise. So I like to think of booba as just like two spheres that have like little like things coming out the back, if that makes sense. So they're round, right? So when something is put, oh my god, am I saving? I hate it when it saves. When I put something on top of it, it's going to be pulled back this way and this way. So this part in the center is going to be the taut part right here. Like the peak is going to be right here and right here. That's going to be the peak area that is going to be pulled taut against. Your art teacher used to say, think of boobs as water balloons. Yeah, it's very, yeah. I'm, honestly, guys, I'm really, really bad at, like, big boobie. But water balloons is a very good way of thinking about it. It gets a little more complicated with, like, the direction that the form is leaning to. But for now, we're gonna do it like just like straight up, straight on. Pretend like this person has like a push-up bra or something like that. And so they're like stable. They're not really gonna move unless you like do something crazy. So yeah. So this is where it's gonna be pulled taut against. So everything else is going to be what did I call it? What is this? A fold, a fabric fold. So there's a lot of fabric folds underneath that you can't see, and a few that are coming from like right here. So I like to do this a little bit, and then just like, you know, I mean, I guess we can do the stomach too. There's like, yeah. You know, just kind of all over the place. So this is going to be kind of the same as this part. You have two peaks, and then there is fabric that is being pulled taut against it, without anything to rest on, because there's like a dip right here into the cleavage area, right? So what you want to do is you want to get like a little central, I like to like imagine, okay, here are the new place. I like to draw a line between them. Okay, so that's one line, and then we can do another line, and another line. And the lines are, of course, no, we're not there yet, I'm sorry. Just do lines. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Like this. I like to connect the bottom of the booba together because it makes like a shelf, you know. So this is how I do, like exactly like that. So then we go with our purple, or whatever you're using, and we're gonna do, this is gonna be a line that holds up. Sometimes if you have like a little stretchier fabric, it kind of goes like this. Just the warping kind of does that. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'm going to, because why not? And then I'm gonna follow this around like this. And then I come to my little line, so I'm gonna do just a little bit right there. And then come around again, and then go whoop, 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 like that. So then we gotta think, okay, gravity is going like this, right? So these are all gonna go down. Like the center of them is gonna come down a little bit. So we're gonna do lines like this. Like I said, you don't want to go all the way across. You want to stop with just a little bit of space between where it's being pulled taut and where your line ends. So like this. Like that. And then what I like to do is, again, like I did over here, we're gonna do like a little like boop boop. And you know, you would do like shadows right here. And what you want to do is you want to follow, sorry, I forgot to do this. Another part of the armature is doing this. So you want to follow the lines going down. Forgot to do that earlier. And if you do the same type of thing like this all the way, it's not really going to look very natural. But what you can do is you can go in and erase until it looks good, which is hard to figure out. But, you know, if you go at the bottom, it's all about shading, right? So we're going to do like a slight shading tutorial. So we're going to want to, you know, shade this part, and then this part, a little bit. And this part really doesn't get very much shade because the light is being like pushed directly onto it. Gravity, I'm just going to assume that the light is coming from the top. So we just want to go in, kind of erase this a little bit. I did it too hard. These don't need to be as intense. But the ones at the bottom definitely do. So you just keep on going until it looks good to you. And then we can go in and we can do like this kind of area. And yeah, so that is, that's that. You can extend this if you want. It really depends on what you're gonna do. Sometimes these come out a little bit more, like the top ones, and then as you get to the center of the boopy, it goes smaller, and then when you get to the end again, it goes out again, just to show like, okay, this is a 3D object coming at you. But that's how basically this works. And like I said, there's a lot of folds underneath the boopy, like right here, but you can't see it because the boopy's in the way. So yeah. Like I said, I'm not very good at boobies, so like, there's probably a better tutorial out there. But I hope that was helpful. Yeah, so once you're done, it should kind of look like this a little bit. I'll just get it centered for you guys. Ta-da! Wow! So, does anyone have any questions? Anything that I can, like, kind of expand upon? Or anything like that? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this really fast. Hold on, wait. My bad. Hold on. Take a screenshot. Everyone say cheese. Oh, fuck, wait. Okay. Wait. Now everyone say cheese. Cheese! Oh, no, that's me blinking. Wait, no. Okay. There we go. Nice. I'm gonna save this screenshot. And then I'm gonna post it on Twitter. Yes, can we do a skirt? I was thinking about doing a skirt, but I thought it would be more of a like a 102 kind of deal, but I can show you like just like the basics of it. It's gonna be similar to Boopy and to this right here. What really affects a skirt would be like wind and movement, which we haven't really gotten to at this point, which is why I would say that it's more of like a 102 kind of deal. But if you were to do a skirt in the same way that we've been doing everything else, I'll just like, hold on, where is a good space? I guess that's a good space to do it. So we have like one leg, and then here's the other leg. Oh god, that was terrible. Okay, one leg, two legs. We're just gonna pretend like the legs are even. And this is gonna be like the waist right here. It's terrible, don't judge me. I'm gonna move this down so it's not in the way of anything else. So if we do something like this, and then we go back here, we're gonna do our armature again. So the legs are gonna be like boop, 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 like that. And then like this. Okay, so that's gonna be your legs, right? So the skirt is, it depends on what kind of skirt you're talking about. But usually the main points of being, of bending are gonna be in the waist right here. And then also, these are going to be your high points right here. There's going to be, yeah, that's what's going to happen. So you have your waist for like the folds, and then these two are going to be the high points that fabric falls against. So if we were to do our little lines again, it would be like that. And then we're gonna do lines like this between here. So we're gonna do like a basic like mini skirt, I guess. So we're just gonna do our little guys like this. Yay! And then we're gonna So what's gonna happen is, if this is just like a basic skirt, it's not like a circle skirt, it's not like a score, it's not a pleated skirt, it's not nothing, it's just like some fabric around your legs. It's gonna be, you're gonna do, you know, gravity's gonna be like that, right? So we're gonna do like a little bit of like this action going on. It's gonna be like that. And then we're gonna go in, of course gravity's going down again. So these for legs is a little more intense than it is for the rest of the body. Or I guess skirts, because not only are you having gravity go down, but you're also having these creases right here be very intense, because you're, you know, if you're walking, then like the creases right here are going to be really, really intense. But since it's a skirt, it's like on top, and so it won't get all of those creases, but it'll get some. So it's a very like touch and go, like hot and cold kind of deal. You gotta really figure out how you want to draw a skirt and draw it that way. So what I usually end up doing is I grab this like crotch area and I kind of go ham. So I know that my skirt is going to be folding like this, and I just kind of go with my lines. I do the same kind of thing, and then with my shadows I will make this one really intense, and there's like a fold here, a fold there if you really want to, but it's like not, it's like weird, it's like it's weirdly complicated just for a skirt. You would think a skirt would be very easy, but it's really not. And then you have, you know, your creases in your legs, so you can do that, you can do this. This one is not as intense as the other ones. You just kind of keep folding, keep going, until it looks kind of okay, a little bit. Yeah, so you really want to focus on the inner part right here. And it's a very, like I said, hot and cold, touch and go kind of deal. So if it looks bad, erase it. Art is a great medium. You can always erase what you have. This is also going to be very in tune with shading. A lot of times people just draw a skirt. Oh my god, saving again? Are you serious? People just draw a skirt like this, and they maybe do like that. Maybe they'll draw a skirt and they won't do anything, and then once they shade, they will make this part highlight, and then they'll like do like this. Like that. And that's how they'll draw a skirt. So line art wise, it's up to you. It's up to your style. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's what I got to say. You're guilty of drawing a skirt with no lines? Yeah. Skirts are tricky. They are. And like I said, all a skirt is just like a piece of fabric around your legs. And so it's really not that impressive unless there's something else going on, like there's motion. So that might be wind flowing through the skirt to make the skirt look like like this, like okay, so here's the skirt and here's one leg, and then it's going into another leg and then out like this, you know, like this is, but this is because like the wind is blowing the skirt this way, and so that's how the motion would really fix the skirt issue for you. but we haven't gotten to motion yet. This is all basic, like where are the folds in the physical fabric, you know? Or like if you're kicking, then like, you know, your leg will be like this and the skirt will go around your leg and down. So it'll be like this. You know what I'm saying? But this is because you're kicking your knee up like this. So the skirt, of course, is going down with gravity. So it's all about motion with skirts. And we'll get to motion at some point whenever you guys want to do clothing folds 102. But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got for you guys. All right, I'm glad this was helpful. I'm gonna assume there is no more questions, no more suggestions. Yeah, we've been drawing for like a solid hour. That's a lot. That's a long time. If you've been with me this whole time, congratulations, my guy. You've been drawing for a long time. You should pat yourself on the back. That's very impressive. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys all being with me. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've learned just a little bit at least. Definitely, if you want to, you know, post a picture of your stuff so I can see what you've learned, then tag it with hashtag KaboClass on Twitter, or send me a DM, or in Discord. I'll drop a link to my Discord. Hold on. Wait, let me drop a link. Invite people. No, not 7 days. Never. Okay, copy. Okay, here is the link to Discord. If you are over the age of 18, you can join my Discord. But yeah, so show me your work. I really, really want to see. I know you guys are such amazing artists, and I would love to see your art, so please show me. But yeah, so I'm gonna peace out. I hope you have fun. I have fun, as always. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing Genshin Impact. So if you're into Genshin Impact, please join me. I fixed my I had a lot of help last night with my stream. So I fixed all of my internet issues and my computer issues. So this time, hopefully, we won't have a 6-minute lag between the chat and the stream. So I hope you guys come so that I can actually show you all of my teams, and I can show off about how amazing I am at Genshin. But by amazing, I mean really bad. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna peace out now. All right, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.
to see me just occasionally.